just going to do a quick review of the Chromebooks first because there's a few non-intuitive things about the Chromebooks that I want to show you guys. So here's our agenda for today. The first thing, if there's ever a problem with a computer, with one of the Chromebooks, and I tell this to my students all the time, if they ever have a problem, the first thing I do is I hit this button on the keyboard. It's above the 3, I think. It's like a little refresh button. And that'll reload the page that you're on. And if that doesn't work, then I just hold down the power button until the screen goes black and turn it back on, and then it comes back up. Yeah.
Is there a password or normal password?
Oh, yeah, it's
I have
your username is tvanhorn@spartanpride.com,
right.
not .org.
Yeah.
And then the password is SJEFF, and then whatever your regular to log on is.
Okay, my bad. Sorry.
Does anybody else need help logging on? Krista, can you grab a computer and log in? Thank you.
Thank you.
No problem. So that's what I tell the students. If there's ever a problem, hit that refresh button first, and if that doesn't work, then just shut the computer off. And the kid will be like, well, what about my work? Well, the cool thing about when you guys are working on Google Drive is that every time you hit a button, it sends that up to the internet and gets saved. So it's always saved. There is no, I have to save my work at the end. It's constantly saving as you're working. So if your computer explodes, you just throw it in the garbage, go grab another one, turn it on, and your work's right there. So you don't have to worry about a jump drive or sending the assignment. It's always just right there for you. Okay. Mrs. Juzak, the username is kjuzak@spartanpride.com. And then the password is SJEFF,
Right.
and then your regular password. For the Chromebooks, there's no buttons on the trackpad, and so to right-click, it's actually kind of, I don't actually push the trackpad in, but I just take 2 fingers and I tap it. So you guys can go ahead and try that now. So 2 fingers, and you just tap the trackpad, and it should, kind of like an iPhone, and it should pop up a little menu to show that that's how to right-click. The students always have trouble when they have to right-click, and they can't figure out what they're supposed to do. So it's just 2-finger tap, and that'll bring up the right-click menu. Is anybody having any problem with that?
Mine wants me to sign back in again. What do we do?
Sign back in again.
The whole thing?
I guess so.
Just your password, I think, on that screen.
I don't know.
What screen is it at?
Just a little teeny currently signed in.
Were you already logged in?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It probably did it like go black on you? Okay.
It happened to me before when I was
Yeah, sorry. I got it regularly.
Yeah. So what probably happened if you have a little window in the front of your computer that has like a little random picture there, and it's asking you for your password again. Sometimes if you just leave the computer alone for long enough, it'll log you out, and then you just have to log back in. Okay. Does anybody else have problems or having any issues yet?
Is this supposed to be on the spout for Spartan Pride?
Doesn't matter. We'll get to that part next.
Oh.
So it doesn't matter where you are. All right. When I log out, or when I have the students log out, all I have them do is hold down the power button. They don't have to worry about clicking anything. They just hold down the power button. Now, if you have grabbed a computer and somebody's already logged into it, what you'll notice is down in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, there's a little picture. And if you click that, it'll give you the option to log out. So if somebody else was logged into a computer, that's how you would be able to log out so that the student could log in and do whatever it is that they need to do. Okay.
But the great things about the Chromebook are, well, if a student closes the lid, puts it back in the cart, or if 15 minutes go by and you're not doing anything, it forces a refresh of the password.
Right.
So those kids can stick those Chromebooks back in the cart, which they often do without logging off or shutting down, and the Chromebook handles both of those things for them and for you. So.
Yeah. I always have my students log out though, because I have had a few times where a kid has grabbed a computer and somebody's already logged into it. And so then they have to sign out. So I just find it easier to say, hold down the power button, the screen goes black, they know that they've signed out, and it shouldn't be any other issues. Yeah.
So if I'm using my computer at school and I want would still sign on instead of just emailing her, and I would do that at spartanpride.com on my desktop over in my classroom?
Yes, if you go to one of these Google sites like Google Drive or Google Classroom, you would sign in like using the Chrome web browser. Okay, which is on all of the school
Right.
things. It looks like,
Yeah, I know what it looks like. So if I'm at home, I need to have that Google Chrome on my,
I wouldn't say that you need to, but everything works best if you do.
okay.
Okay.
Yep.
In fact, these laptops are essentially only a web browser. That's all they are. They are a portal to the internet, and that's where you're doing all of your work. That's awesome if you have internet access. If you don't have internet access, they're not as good. You can still do some things with them. You can still do some work, but they won't be as powerful as they are when you have that internet access. Luckily, we have internet access here at the school, so that's not an issue. Does anybody have any questions about the Chromebooks? Okay. Google Classroom. Now what I'd like you all to do is to close whatever window you have open, and it should be a little icon that looks like a waffle iron. It looks like 3 dots with another 3 dots under it and another 3 dots under it, and it's all the way in the bottom left. Okay? Does everybody find that little waffle iron? If you click on the little waffle iron, there should be an icon that looks like a chalkboard. And that's Google Classroom.
Just on the second page.
Oh, yeah, it's already on the...
Yeah,
I didn't even realize it was there. Yeah, the chalkboard's already there. So if you guys click on the chalkboard, it's going to open up your Google Classroom account. Okay? Let me know if you're... It looks like a little green... a little,
If you open
oh,
the
click right
waffle iron, you go to the second page.
Oh, it's not. Maybe because, okay, so you're just going to open that instead,
Some people couldn't come,
and then type in classroom.google.com.
so they asked if I could.
Anybody not at the Google Classroom website? All right. Now, my Google Classroom website, I've already set up a bunch of classes because I've been using it, but yours will probably be blank, and it may even be asking you, are you a teacher or are you a student? So you're going to need to select that you're a teacher, okay? Now, as you can see up here, there's a home button. Hello. We have the home button, and right here, next to your username, you should see a plus sign, okay? What we're going to do now is we're going to make our first class. So I'm going to click on that plus sign, and it's going to give me 2 options. I can either join a class or create a class. So I'm going to create a class. If you want, you can grab a computer in the back. And now you get to name the class. Do you have a question?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Ask me. I can help. I don't mind being. All right. So you need to scroll down and say that you're a teacher.
Scroll down at the bottom.
But this is.
Bill, what's the D36?
Day 3.
Oh, that's just like day 3, period, or here, period 8, day 3, and 6. That's just for my labs.
Okay.
And you'll see that, and then you'll just, they want you to chalkboard.
You have to log into Google Class. The problem I'm having right now is that kids are using this in my room, and I won't even have these probably ever this year. There's a very good chance.
Right.
So in my room, the kids get on and they end up logging in like 16 times because they don't know the correct.
So
When they
if
get on
that's the
PC.
case, then what they should do is they should hit, we don't have it on the desktop for them, but they should hit the Windows button, which you can't see on here. They should hit the Windows button and then type in Google, and Chrome will come up and they can click that. Don't have them type in Chrome because they can't spell Chrome. I've had a lot of students having that problem where they can't find Chrome's not on here.
It's down at the bottom.
Abby, they're
You
my-
can search. You can find
Abby,
it quickly now.
are they my
Oh.
kids?
No.
Because they should have moved them to, we had them all move the Google Chrome to the desktop. We made a shortcut icon.
Yeah, you'll probably cover it all, but like they get onto Google and then they sign into Google, but then they end up signing in the classroom, but then it takes them back someplace and they have to sign in again. It's like it turns into this 15-minute.
Right, then that's not something that should happen. If they just go to classroom.google.com, that's the website, if they type in Google Classroom or GoogleClassroom.com or any other permutation of it, it has to say classroom.google.com, and that will take them to the Google Classroom
That's where
website.
they sign in, is on the Google Classroom page.
Yes.
Okay. Abby, I think what they're doing possibly is they're signing into the browser itself. And Google really has a plethora of apps that they allow out there for people to use. Classroom is just one of those apps.
So don't go to anything but the
If
classroom.
you strictly want them using Classroom, have them go to Google Classroom.
Do they need to sign into that with Google Chrome, or can they do it with?
They can do it with other browsers, but Google Chrome will work the best.
So they have to sign into that first and then into Classroom?
No,
Yes.
they just have to sign into Classroom. They don't have to sign into the browser.
Oh, I misunderstood what you said. Yeah, they
They can
just have to
just
go
go
to the website.
Because the browser really, them signing into the browser just will have it track their bookmarks and track a whole bunch of other stuff that they're probably not ready to be doing yet.
And they don't
Which
need all
is-
that.
And they don't need all of that. So if you only want them using Classroom,
Yeah.
just have them go to the link that you just said, Google.Classroom.
But open
No,
it-
classroom.google.com.
If you don't, we found though, if we open it through, like if you click on the E on the bottom,
Well, that's.
Never
Well,
use
it's
Internet
right-
Explorer.
well, that's the one that's there.
Right, but don't use it.
That's what they use. though.
I know, but tell your students not to use it because it causes problems.
It won't show a lot. It
Right.
won't show videos half the time, it won't.
So they should all be using Chrome or Firefox. But Chrome is really the best because it's made by the company who makes the thing, so it's going to work best that way. Okay. Does anybody have any other questions before we go?
Yeah, mine isn't letting me create a class. I think it thinks I'm a kid.
Mine did it at first, and then I press it again and it worked.
The first thing that I'm going to tell you to do if it's causing you a problem is hit that refresh button. Okay? So we're going to hit the refresh button first.
Yeah, but where's the create a class button? That's what I can't find.
Well,
Top right,
I'll
so
get to that
class.
part in a second. I want everybody to be on the same page so that I don't have.
Oh, this says it's already.
There, click plus.
Yeah.
But I guess because this worked first, I haven't logged in before, that's why I asked.
You don't have to hit it, just tap. There you go.
Then you get to see.
Enter class and join code. Okay, it seems like you're signed in as a student, and I don't actually know how to change that for you right now. Okay, he must have clicked the button that he's a student,
Oh, Bunny and her.
and he's a student, not a teacher on this,
On Google Classroom.
on Google Classroom. Is there anything that you could do about that? Like, can you go into his account settings?
I'll take a look.
Okay.
So
Just-
when he first enrolled, we'll put the I'm a student button.
I think so.
Well, no, I wanted teachers to add me so that I could find out what they're doing because I didn't know what was going on because they were doing everything on Google Chrome. So I asked them to sign me into the classes. I never hit it.
Right, so, but essentially, you went in as a student.
Right.
Because I'm considered a student in these classes. Yeah, I guess.
But you're not gonna be able to do both. I guess that's it.
Well, if you're a teacher, you can also join classes as a student.
Right.
Yeah. All right, so I'm just going to ask that you follow along as best you can.
David, I'm gonna take a look at your things while I'm stopping.
All right, so you're going to name your class. I'm going to name this one Google Classroom Example. And I don't know, section 1, I guess, it doesn't matter. And I'm going to click the. I don't know if the section thing even matters. I don't really use it for anything. So then I just hit create, and it's going to make a new class. And it takes a second for it to come up. So now this is my classroom, okay? And you all should be able to create a class now as well. And I'll go through a few things that we can do on the class, and then I'm going to have you all join my class so that we can see both the teacher side and the student side at the same time. Okay? Please raise your hand if you haven't yet made a class and you need more time for that. Okay. So a few things that we can use here. If you want, you can go through and add your students ahead of time. If you, I wouldn't actually say that we should do that right now, but what you can do is you can click the blue invite button and then you can search for your students. So if you have a student like Mr. Chrisman, and I hit search, and it's going to find him, and I can then invite him to the class. Okay? I'm going to hit cancel because I'm going to make him